There are a ton of videos out there on bug out bags, and they usually fit into one of three categories or all three categories. In one category, you have the person who's carrying this ginormous 60-liter plus mountaineering bag that is so full of gear and junk that you don't really need, that you won't make any meaningful distance in your get home or bug out. Second category is you have the person who is trying to sell you either the bag, the contents of the bag, or they're affiliated with, the contents and the bag. Then lastly, you have the person who is telling you that your bag isn't supposed to be tactical, but the bag in the video looks like it's fixing to go on its own SWAT mission. Today we're not going to do the whole bug out bag thing. It's just been run to death, and it's kind of outdated, I guess you'd say, for today's society, and that's just my opinion. Today we're going to do the get home person. Now this is something that I have been doing for years when I go hunting. Now what that means is that everything you need to expedite fire, food, shelter, and water is carried on your person. There's no ginormous backpack that is cumbersome to lug around, this, that, and the other, which means that the bug out person is lighter weight and faster and more maneuverable than somebody who's carrying all that junk with them. So let's jump into what is involved with the get home person, go through the contents, and then we'll set up a camp just with the things that we have on our person. As far as clothing goes for the get home person, I recommend a hat, a t-shirt or long sleeve shirt, depending upon the weather, BDU pants or cargo pants, and for footwear, an 8-inch boot that is insulated and waterproof, that has a really aggressive tread, and you've already broken them in. The gear for the get home person is actually quite simple. For instance, just a stainless steel or aluminum water bottle that fits in your pocket. That's why I recommend cargo pants or BDU, work gloves, and a multi-tool. Now, a lot of people call these EDCs, and it's just, a mole pouch. And it does look tactical, I know, but the reason why I chose this pouch is because the way that the belt loops are on it, and it holds the pouch this way up against my side, and it can't be torn off. The first item in this little kit, as you can see, is 100 feet of paracord that's lashed to the outside of it. This contains the tools to expedite fire, food, and shelter. So let's open it up, and there are a couple of extra pieces in here that I added for my own personal preference. For instance, I got this dust mask and surgical gloves vacuum sealed in a pack. Then I've got one of these little cheapo multi-tool compass slash binocular kind of signaling devices. Next, I have two Mylar space blankets that have been duct taped together, and the brand is Swiss Safety. And the reason why I went with them is because they offer colors for the outside of them, and I went with like an olive drab so that I could kind of blend in, because with this particular kit I'm not really looking to be found. Next, I have my binoc mix. Then I have like my little mini MRE that's got a Snickers bar, some fruit juice pouch, and instant breakfast. A couple of Band-Aids. Some matches and tissue. Next, I have a light, and I don't know where exactly I got this light. I wish I did, because it's a good light, but it's kind of a no-name brand deal. Magnetic base on the back side of it, super bright. Then I have just this little El Cheapo knife and a fire steel. It comes in a little nylon sheath. I think it was a little add-on deal when I bought some stuff from a store. Next, I have just a waterproof container that contains matches, and I believe I put a striker in here too. Yeah, I did. So it's got the striker and the matches in there. So that's the minimalistic gear of the get home person. And I myself know people who carry less than this, if anything at all, to set up a camp, which is what I'm fixing to do with this little kit. Here in Alabama, we have a lot of creepy crawlies, poisonous spiders, poisonous snakes, and we also have chiggers. Now, they're not poisonous, they don't really bite per se, but they do have the effect that makes you wish you were dead. And that's the reason why when planning your shelter, you need to be aware of the environment that you're in. That's why in this particular kit I have two space blankets duct taped together, because in this environment I want to have my shelter to have a floor in it that is made of an impermeable material so that insects and things of that nature can't get inside with me. And this is just the basic A-frame type shelter where you have a cordage strung between two trees, and the tube that you make by taping these two mylar blankets together, you run your string through there and then put rocks on the corners so that you make an A-frame and you have a bottom. Because this is an impermeable material, meaning it won't breathe, you do want the ends on this, or at least one end, open so that air can circulate through there, because you're going to collect all that moisture in on top of yourself. And as you can see, you've got plenty of room inside of it. Like I said, I myself am 6'3" and weigh about 240 pounds, and I have no problem, you know, getting inside this shelter and laying down. This is a great design, a lean-to with a floor, and it's an open design so the air can flow through here, because like today here in Alabama, the temperature is like 95, but the heat index is 104, so I can get a breeze blowing through here and be protected from the elements, because it is supposed to rain today. The awning part of this lean-to type shelter extends past the floor of the shelter, and I can store my gear in here, and there's plenty enough room for me to move around in. As you can see, I'm drenched with sweat from just setting up these two little shelters. Now imagine trying to get home with a 50-pound bug out bag on your back on a day like today where it's 95 degrees, 104 heat index, and like 1,000% humidity. It wouldn't go well for you. Now I'm going to show you a picture of me with my get home setup on, and everything is labeled, to give you a better understanding of what I'm talking about, and maybe you can plan your own get home person setup. So that is my take on the get home person versus the bug out bag. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see y'all next time.